The government is said to have decided to terminate the contracts of all political appointees in government-linked companies and government-linked investment companies, statutory bodies, and the Ministry of Finance Inc. companies, according to various news reports. It was reported earlier on Thursday that the Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, had directed all of the ministry's chief secretaries to implement the directive from the Prime Minister's department to terminate the political appointees with immediate effect. It was reported that this matter had been discussed by the Cabinet on December 14th. When contacted, the PM's department officials declined to comment. It should be pointed out that when a new government comes into power, it is usual to see a spate of new appointments take place at GLCs, GLICs and at other key institutions. In fact, in 2018, when Pakatan Harapan came into power, it changed the heads of GLCs, GLICs and state-owned enterprises, a move it said was in line with its election manifesto. Tan Sri Syed Mokhtar Al-Bukhari is conducting a strategic review of conglomerate DRB-Hicom, according to people with knowledge of the matter, Bloomberg reports. The businessman is said to be in talks with potential advisors on options that could involve a buyout of the firm, said the people, who asked not to be identified as the process is private. The report also says that Syed Mokhtar is also weighing a stake sale or other ways to further streamline DRB-Hicom's businesses. Syed Mokhtar owns 56% of DRB-Hicom, according to data compiled by Bloomberg. Deliberations are in an early stage and no final decision has been made, according to the report. Representatives of DRB-Hicom and Syed Mokhtar didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. According to the Bloomberg report, should Syed Mokhtar decide to buy out DRB-Hicom, it would be the second of the businessman's companies to recently delist. Infrastructure and utilities conglomerate MMC Corp was taken private in 2021. DRB-Hicom bought a controlling stake in domestic automaker Proton Holdings in 2012 from Khazanah Nasional. It sold 49.9% of the car maker in 2017 to China's Zhejiang Geely Holdings Group, a deal that also gave Geely a majority interest in British sports car brand Lotus Cars. DRB-Hicom is also involved with the development, assembly and distribution of military vehicles for the Malaysian Armed Forces. Its other interests include Bank Muamalat, National Postal Service provider Post Malaysia, as well as investments in real estate. Astro Malaysia Holdings saw its third quarter FY23 net profit drop more than 90% to 5.8 million due to higher net financing costs from unrealized foreign exchange. In the third quarter of FY22, Astro had posted earnings of 105.9 million ringgit. Revenue for the quarter also declined by 9.4% year-on-year to 926.2 million from 1.02 billion previously on lower subscription revenue and merchandise sales, which was partially offset by an increase in advertising revenue. Despite the softer numbers, Astro still declared a third interim dividend of 0.75 cents per share. Commenting on its performance, Group CEO Henry Tan said that the group remained cash generative and proactive in its capital management. He adds that going forward, Astro will continue to invest in its transformation for long-term and sustainable growth and will continue to aggregate the best streaming apps and adding on lifestyle apps which are relevant for Malaysians. Tan also said that addressable advertising is also gaining traction in the market to enhance a unified audience measurement on linear, on-demand and OTT. Group CEO designate Ewan Smith said that Astro will continue to seize growth opportunities in the broadband space, adding that in the current quarter, the group's broadband base increased by 34% year-on-year as more of its customers opted to bundle their broadband with content. In a statement, Astro said that it maintains a cautious outlook and expects market volatility to remain in the shorter term, both in terms of forex volatility and interest rates, and says it will be managing these with hedge instruments over time. The High Court has deferred delivering its verdict on former Repco Holdings chairman Lao Tiam Hok's appeal against his conviction and sentence with regards to his offence of market manipulation of Repco shares in 1997. This follows Judicial Commissioner Dato' Azhar Abdul Hamid wanting the defence, led by lawyers Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah and New Sin Yu, to put in their written submissions on the sentencing before Azhar delivers the decision. Azhar noted that the SC, represented by Deputy Public Prosecutor Shobha Venugopal, had already provided submissions back in February. Shafi earlier noted that the court can use its discretion to deliver the verdict first, and the parties could submit on sentencing if the guilty verdict is upheld. Shoba also indicated the same. However, Azhar preferred the written submissions on the sentencing to be put in by the defence and fixed December 28th to deliver his decision. To recap, the Sessions Court had in 2016 found Lao, better known as Repco Lao, guilty of market manipulation of Repco shares and sentenced him to 5 years jail and a 5 million ringgit fine, which he is presently appealing against. Lao was initially acquitted without his defence being called, a decision that was upheld by the High Court. But the Court of Appeal reversed the decision and ordered him to enter his defence, and the trial resumed in the Sessions Court before another judge, which ended in his conviction. The Ministry of Communications and Digital is looking into the possibility of reducing prices of services offered by local telecommunications companies. MCD Minister Fahmi Fazil says he had asked the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission and the telcos to conduct a study to fulfill the people's aspiration for cheaper telecommunication services, Bernama reports. He adds that many young people are hoping that prices for the internet and lines can be reduced. Fahmi also said he is studying the best ways possible to improve the quality of services and resolve issues concerning 4G and 5G network reach in certain areas of the country. Meanwhile, Fahmi said that the new administration is serious about tackling cybersecurity and data protection. He added that he would organize meetings with social media providers Meta, TikTok and Twitter and online retailers regarding the matter about protecting Malaysians' personal data.